Food Court, the movie podcast and Twitch stream where Sean.
John.
Undone. I am undone. And Michael.
Watch shit, talk shit, and most importantly, eat shit. We are the law. Happy 150th episode of Food Court. It couldn't have happened at a better time because we have begun Carpentober,
Yes.
where every October until we run out of Carpenter movies or we quit the podcast, we will watch Carpenter movies. We're watching some good ones this month. We're watching some bad ones this month.
Ooh.
I'll give you the whole schedule. This week, we're talking about They Live because Mariana told us that she wanted us to watch it, and we're doing it because of that.
We're doing it.
Next week, we're watching Cigarette Burns, which is on Tubi. It's a Masters of Horror episode. It's kind of hard to find. Just search for Masters of Horror and then scroll through and you'll find Cigarette Burns.
Wow.
It's on Tubi. That week after that, Halloween Kills. The week after that, Assault on Precinct 13, which was requested by KCG. The week after that, Prince of Darkness.
Halloween
specifically,
itself.
Liam said Prince of Motherfucking Darkness.
Whoa.
And I'm assuming he's referring to Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, I couldn't
unless there's
find
a
that
different
one.
movie I haven't heard of. And those are all the Carpentober movies we shall watch this week. Hello, John. Hello, Michael.
Hi.
How are y'all?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing great.
Nice.
I do have some sad news though.
What?
Can I officially title the episode?
Oh yes, please do.
Although I won't use this episode when I officially title the episode, so this is now very confusing.
I love it.
They Live. Twitch stream dies.
Wow. This shall be our last Twitch stream for a while.
R.I.P.
But
I mean, I feel like
podcast
we can
shall
do them at our leisure.
Yeah.
Yes.
why not?
And if we want to do something fun with you guys, because it has been very fun.
it's a great
Especially, and it was a great, allowed us to keep doing it during the pandemic. But all three of us wastrels would prefer to have a little more flexibility. And in my case, don't even have to have more flexibility in order to continue doing the show. So it's just easier for us if we can go back to the old ways of doing it in person and recording and kind of having some flexibility. Also, as much fun as we have with Chad every week,
Yeah.
we didn't get a lot of traction on Twitch, mostly because we're just unable to do Twitch as often as you really need to be twitching in order to have
We're
success.
ugly.
Yeah, that's also true.
Have
We
you
would have
seen-
reached affiliate status a long time ago, except for we only Twitch 3 or 4 times a month, so you can't.
It's not
So-
possible.
I think we'll still do some sort of events, and it's something
Yeah.
we'd like to pursue down the line.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for us, but maybe fortunately for the pod, we're going to kind of go back into all three of us in a room around some mics.
Yeah.
And more importantly, allow us to have more guests and more flexibility. And
Yes.
we're not saying you need to be back in the food courts and the movie theaters, but these three, speaking only for myself, comorbidity covered fools
Yeah.
are back in the movie halls and food court dining halls.
Time to
So we'll be
die.
bringing you our own Frank Armitage style
Ooh.
social commentary
Okay.
from those houses of commerce known as the food courts.
I love it.
And we'll get to speak to you the moment we get out of the movie, which is a big difference.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me.
yes.
Is that you can't really get that. I've always called it big screen hypnosis or drunk on the matinee. You just have these incredibly intense feelings after seeing a movie
Yes.
on the big screen that you're usually horrified by 22 minutes later.
Yes, which I like that
Yeah.
we're kind of in a scary place because sometimes we'll go, "Wow, I love that," and then you go, "God, that was
I try to keep it going that way, but it's kind of manufactured. But when I left Malignant, was that's one of my favorite movies I've ever seen.
That's amazing." Oh man, I had so many low mains, and then when I thought about it for the next week, I was like, "That's a brilliant movie."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I've watched it since. So
Getting wrecked at the old box office. I've heard.
So many times now. We've also watched other stuff. Michael, would you drop the Pan Express theme song?
Oh, me! Ding 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 ding. It's time for the Panda Express because we got some things to express about the things we watched this week. Gong. That's not.
You guys, I know what you're all talking about, so I'm going to drop some information on you before you talk about it.
Okay.
I've seen this movie before, but I went to see Pelham 123 at our wonderful local theater, the Belcourt Theater,
What?
on 35 millimeter.
Wow.
It was a grimy, dirty ass print. It looked awesome.
Ooh.
And I felt the same way I think about it every time I watch it, that it's just one of the best movies ever.
Really?
It's really funny, hilariously funny.
Best ending ever.
Best ending ever.
Ever?
It's up there. Amazing thriller. It's like funnier than most comedies, and it's more thrilling than most thrillers.
Wow.
It's got just so many good actors. It's perfect. If you've never watched this,
Hector Elizondo.
Hector Elizondo. Fucking Quint is in it.
Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw.
Quint. Were you talking about the guy who used to review movies on Ain't It Cool News?
Yes, I'm talking about that
Moriarty. I think all those guys are canceled now.
Dang.
I think most of them did, sex stuff.
Whoa.
If you were ever famous on the internet before 2007, you did some sex stuff, I think.
Yeah, probably.
I know Ask Jeeves. Jeeves from Ask Jeeves.
Yes.
Definitely did some sex stuff.
Alta Vista really did some creepy stuff. Y'all boys, though, y'all must talk about, and I will join in, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I'm guessing.
I can't even believe we're not even doing a whole episode about this movie.
Well, it would have been a weird episode, Michael, because we three convened, and then only one of us made it out alive.
Yeah.
We went to the movie, and I want to know more about Michael's experience. Look, by the way, Venom is a silly, fun movie that it's kind of depressing that a movie that cost $389 million or whatever is as silly and low budget feeling as it is.
Yeah.
I still had a good time. But we tried to all go see it together, maybe even record a podcast about it. But I don't know, Michael. Why don't you tell us your experience? Because we'll try to fill in the blanks.
Well, I got there and I ordered a popcorn as I wanted a popcorn. And then I saw some guy standing there, and I saw the back of his head, and I went, I know that guy, but I didn't know how. And then he was like, oh, the popcorn's good, or something like that. And it was Josh Lewis.
Friend of the show.
Show. And then I watched the movie, and then about... I thought we were all having a great time, like, watching the movie. I was like, this is insane. And then I look over, and Sean's, like, leaving. I was like, oh. And then Josh is like, he's leaving. He's sick. And I was like, what? Oh, no. And then John, I just was like, where's John at?
John just disappeared.
Yeah. So I was like,
somebody
okay. So then me and Josh just watched the rest of the movie. And that was it.
Yeah, we went. I had to leave because of, like, a workish emergency, and then Sean had...
I felt like I was going to
pancreatitis?
I just felt like I couldn't breathe no more.
Yeah, that's
and I
not
decided
good.
That was bad.
Yeah.
But he's back, and he's better than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I can breathe.
That's good.
In some way.
But Sean and I saw it again
We saw it
today.
Yes.
And I got to say, Michael, at the end, we were both really sad that the movie didn't end with an Eminem song.
I know.
And as we were sitting there, I don't know if you noticed, if you wait, Eminem does indeed come crashing in on the third verse. And Sean and I high-fived in the theater about a stupid Eminem song about a stupid character played by Woody Harrelson.
It's not as good as Venom.
No,
but
it's the Venom.
Well, now it's kind of got like the truly abhorrent rap style where it just sounds like a Special Olympian saying like rapping, where they're just like Venom, Venom. Venom. They just say like one word. Spiral. The new Saw did that a lot.
Oh, really?
Spiral. Yeah. It's just like I don't know what it is. It's like a sampling. It's like a sampling keyboard. It's like Carnage, Venom, Carnage. And that's like the whole style of the rapping. Yes. But luckily you had Eminem in there to mindlessly rap about.
That's wild.
Cartoon villains.
I think my least favorite type of rapping is the one that's like, bada, bada, bada. Da-da,
Yeah, that's
ba-da,
what I'm talking
ba-da.
about.
I
That's what
don't
I'm talking
like
about.
that at all.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking
It's
about.
boring.
I just don't know how. I don't have any way to talk about this shit.
That's
Or don't you?
I just
I think you
find
did a great job.
I just say something offensive and then you guys get silent and then we move on.
yeah, I like it. I go, oh, okay, tell me
All
more.
right. You're on your own
What
there.
about
That's
them?
true.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking
man.
of They Live, guys, we watched John Carpenter's They Live, and I'll give you the plot. You know what happens? There's a down on his luck, homeless guy
Nada.
who happens to be enormous. He just happens to be a huge muscle man.
Massive.
And he discovers through magical sunglasses that the world we see is in fact not the real world. Below it, there is another world controlled by strange ghouls who are controlling all of our thoughts.
Yes.
With TV and with magazines and with repetitive noises where they're telling us to sleep and get married and stuff. And then this homeless man with his best friend, a kind of ebony and ivory best friend system, they have to kill as many people as they can.
Yeah.
Mostly just ghouls, but I think occasionally they kill a few real people, but
big time.
only the bad real people. And then, well, what happens next is history.
And then it all came true.
Yeah, and then it all
And then it all- yes. It every time we have watched a movie like this, which has happened a few times, like Dread, and like movies like that seem like they're about the future, but they're written originally about how horrible it was then.
Yeah.
Like, Dread was written during the 80s, or and this was also written during the 80s, and you just go, oh wow, it's so prescient, but it's like, just everything just keeps being awful.
Yeah, they didn't.
I noticed this time. I'd never really noticed this before. They talk about climate change in this.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not precisely in the form that it's come to be. It's more about the warming up the planet for the alien race that has
Yes.
subjugated us via advertising.
Yes.
But that's how this shit works, man.
It does.
It's all real, man. The vaccine is just a way for this to control us,
Yes. So you put
Oh,
on the
Sean
glasses.
ruined it.
Put on the glasses, man. You'll see what they're putting inside.
Sean
you.
ruined it.
man. Take the red pill and realize that the vaccine is actually the whoa.
Yes.
You ever think about that?
As I was watching, I was like, it'd be very easy for like the alt-right to steal away this movie's
absolutely.
iconography with a la The Matrix. And I think there even was like a thing where they like Nazis tried to say it was about Jewish mind control.
What?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
But,
But they're wrong.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is they're just dead wrong.
Very
yeah, I mean, it's
wrong.
like very clearly about like Ronald Reagan and
Yeah.
advertising.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah.
I mean, they even like when you see the alien on the newscast, he even uses the Ronald Reagan like "It's a new morning" slogan.
Oh
which was
wow.
the actual campaign slogan
Yeah.
of
That's
Reagan's
wild.
campaign. But like one thing that like it's weird that it also became a symbol for the left in a weird Shepard Fairey way. But
Yeah.
that's kind of like a bullshit leftist thing, because Shepard Fairey then used these images from this movie to make T-shirts and make a fuck ton of money.
Yes.
Oh right.
Especially using an Andre the Giant face and an Obey thing, which
Yeah.
that's and I'm sure Carpenter, that would have made Carpenter very sick, because there's nothing worse than when like commercialism sells back your own revolution right back to you.
It's pretty crazy.
But it's almost
Yeah.
unavoidable.
And
this
also,
time.
Carpenter's a big wrestling fan, right?
Yeah.
So he probably would have been doubly
Oh.
depressed that not only was his
Yeah.
bit stolen, but also Andre the Giant
Andre the
was
Giant.
stolen.
Yeah.
Carpenter used to write an article in this magazine called
Mhm.
Ring Magazine about
What?
pro wrestling.
That's
He's a
crazy.
hardcore wrestling fan.
Wow.
That's why Roddy's in this, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Roddy Piper, who plays the principal nameless character,
Nah.
quit the WWF to be in this movie.
What?
which,
That's amazing.
A strong business move, actually, because it's really that the WWF's run by like this secret sodomite maniac
Whoa.
pervert,
Holy
Vince McMahon, who's a total control freak who wants to own people's names and
That's
likenesses
terrifying.
and stuff. So, and
Yeah.
Roddy got away with it for years doing his own thing. But yeah, I mean, it was totally like like this movie's. It's gonna be hard to do our favorite segment where we tear down movies because there's not a lot to tear down.
It will be difficult.
It
We'll
will.
try.
We'll find a way.
Yeah.
I've got a few things to say about that, but we're not there yet. First, we must talk about our beef lamb year, our very favorite part of the movie. There's a million obvious ones.
Yes.
Michael, drop a favorite on me.
Okay, my ultimate favorite part, the gyro, the single €1 that they can only be, is the first time he puts on the glasses and is experiencing the world.
Yes.
And he goes in that little supermarket
Oh.
and he just kind of snaps and he starts talking down to that lady.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just like, you look awful.
You look like your head was dipped in the cheese dip in 1957.
Yeah. And then he looks at the real woman. He's like, you're okay, but you're real fucking ugly.
You're real fucking ugly.
You're real fucking
I
ugly.
was like, that's amazing. And then the like appalled alien was just like perfect. I was like, man, that's good.
I've got one that can see.
I love those scenes so much because I think it's one of the last great uses of mixed media that we ever had.
Yeah.
Where the what I have to be matte paintings
Mhm.
Yes.
are integrated, and they're integrated in black and white. Which
Yeah.
most of the time it's hard to go color black and white back and forth like that, but it's very seamless in this movie, and the storytelling is very precise and
So good.
This movie really feels like the best Twilight episode of all time.
Yeah.
Like that's really kind of the vibe you get. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's adapted, I think, from a comic book story, and it feels that way.
Oh,
It feels
really?
like
I
an
didn't
old
know that.
issue of Eerie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Carpenter. He's not do original ideas.
Wow.
He's like a very proto Tarantino like remixer, and he's just a man of wealth and taste.
Yeah.
And he should be celebrated for it.
That's great.
Yes, the matte paintings in that moment are so awesome
Yeah.
that like only did I realize there were matte paintings when like I watched some special feature where they're like, oh yeah, those are matte paintings. I'm like,
Wow.
what?
They're
That's
probably
great.
Richard Danforth's then, because
They're
I
so
never
gorgeous.
every time I look up a matte painting, because I couldn't tell if it was a matte painting or not.
Yeah.
It's always Richard Danforth. It's like
Yeah.
the king of matte paintings.
Yeah, it's
That's
unbelievable.
amazing. I
mean,
love it. Yeah. I've always
yeah.
loved that.
All that shit is so good. Yeah.
And I think it kind of helps make it even seem more bizarre because you're like, oh, something's.
Yeah.
It's not real. Like, it's just interesting. You're like, oh, whoa.
Absolutely.
Or maybe it's so real that we can't even perceive it. Oh.
John,
Morpheus over here.
Yeah, Morpheus.
take the red pill. I'm young Morpheus.
I'm young.
Me, I'm young Morpheus. Ooh, ooh.
But I'm
I'm a
somehow
little baby.
darker than
Candyman.
myself when I'm older.
My skin gets lighter when I get
Yeah.
older.
My entire bone structure shifts. It's crazy.
Are you guys talking about the Matrix trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
Is that Morpheus? I think Morpheus is going to be in the new Matrix.
that would be wild.
I think they're shitting us. We're off
think
topic
they're
badly. We're off topic. Badly.
I love it.
Not anymore. John, what's your year of this picture?
Jesus, it's very hard. Now this is from the. Is this the third? This is the second movie in like the Doomsday trilogy. Is that
I
right?
think this is
John?
number 2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that's like
Thing.
we've got Prince of Darkness,
Yeah.
then this, or was this after Prince of Darkness?
Oh fuck.
I think this is after Prince of
I don't
Darkness.
know.
No, I think Prince of Darkness is before.
So Prince of Darkness, then this, then In the Mouth of Madness is like
Oh,
this
wow.
really fun, like really cool trilogy that really grabs at the whole Lovecraftian thing
Yeah.
better than anything else. And I like that all like the character names and even the pseudonym names like Richard Armitage are like references to Lovecraftian stuff. And
Oh.
I just think there's a lot of fun Easter egg type stuff in this movie. But I would be remiss if I didn't point out that this is the most quotable action movie ever.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yes.
fun.
And it has not only does it have like, most Arnold movies you get like at least one great one-liner.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in this, by bringing in the world of pro wrestling, specifically 80s
Yeah.
wrestling, and specifically Roddy Piper, maybe the greatest stickman pro wrestler of all time, you just got line after line after line, and the
Yes.
delivery is always non-pareil, and it's just very hard to beat lines like "You nicked yourself shaving this morning," and even like his delivery when it's not necessarily a joke, but like when the cop corners him, the alien cop, and he's like, "You look as ugly to us as we look to you," and he just blinks and he goes, "Impossible."
That's amazing.
Yeah, the dialogue, which comes from, I usually kind of like prefer my dialogue to be well thought out and written, but when you give a guy like Roddy Piper, who has 20 years of, smoky beer hall wrestling, and screaming into a microphone to try to entice people to come to the Greensboro Coliseum to come watch them kill each other or fake kill each other in a bingo hall. That's the kind of ad-libbing I can get behind.
Yes, exactly.
Like, I don't necessarily want Jonah Hill to be talking all over my goddamn Scorsese movie. But, Roddy Piper's not... These aren't, like, timely references that'll be forgotten in 15 years. Yeah. These are, like, timeless one-liners. And Roddy's so good in this, makes me wish that he had more of a career. You also, like... This is just a classic Carpenter cast. Like, I don't know if there's anybody... you could say paired with Carpenter as well as Keith David, unless you want to throw Kurt Russell into the mix.
Yes.
So,
Keith David's just amazing.
The combination of cast and crew on this one is almost perfect.
Yeah, that's great. It's really
when we
fun.
say lines, we must bring up maybe the big one of all. I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Used in Duke Nukem 3D, baby.
Yes, that was the first time I heard it, and then when I heard it in this, I was like, wait a minute.
I think that's how lots of people reverse engineer it.
Yeah, there was so much of this movie that felt like a video game or like an arcade shooter. Like the part where they're in the alleyway and they're like shooting I was like, this is exactly one of those arcade games. Like,
Carpenter is a noted video game addict.
Wow, that's crazy.
Just quit making movies to play video games,
awesome.
Rip weed, and watch the NBA.
I love it.
Which I feel that very much.
I like it.
When is Carpenter going to be on your NBA podcast?
Jesus, wouldn't that be a beautiful thing?
Yes.
I don't know if I could say
your podcast. When is he going to be on our podcast?
Yeah, right.
God damn it.
Can you just imagine the plumes of smoke between him and my podcast partner Chuck?
Oh yeah,
that would be great.
Just raging,
just ripping vape.
That's great.
Did you already go, Sean?
I'm ready to go. I have a big euro.
Uh-oh.
I mean, there's so many things that are probably better than this, but the thing that really spoke to me this time,
Meg Foster's piercing blue boobs.
Well, that's on there too. Her eyes are amazing.
Oh,
that's in my later sections. But for my top one this time, that old Rod is walking around the supermarket and he sees like these two business dudes talking, and there's like one ghoul skeleton man and one just regular dude. And the regular dude's like, "Oh man, I'm so depressed. I didn't get that. I didn't get the job. Oh, I'm so depressed." And the skeleton's just like, "Well, it'll come. Don't worry about it." And I'm like, "Oh yeah. I've heard that so much. All these skeleton people have been telling me that too, buddy. I totally get it." And it really cut to the heart of me. I was like, "Yep, that's the real shit."
So on this podcast, who is real and who is a skeleton person?
I'm a skeleton person.
I think everybody but me. Y'all are both ghouls.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
real.
ghouls. We're ghoul just.
I feel like Sean has the bone structure to be one of the ghouls.
Thank you.
It's not a compliment.
Here's
That
my
is a compliment. I take it as a compliment.
I have a theory about this whole thing.
Okay.
Which whole thing?
The ghouls wouldn't allow this movie to get made.
Okay.
If they were in charge, right?
Right.
Or would they let it be made so we would never think that this is real?
Whoa.
Well, this ties into my low mains later, but they would let it get made for like a paltry $3 million and have to star Roddy Piper and Keith David and be directed by end of career John Carpenter or after the fall John Carpenter.
Yes.
Even though this movie did do okay.
Yeah.
And definitely, I think it did okay at the box office, and then definitely has attained cult status in lasting measure.
That's crazy that he did it. Yeah.
We've done our Euros, but here's a new segment because we always say, at least Michael and I, have 1,000 different nice things to say about movies. Here's our new segment. It's the side of fries with a whole bunch of that seasoned salt sprinkled all over it. what are your other favorite things, Michael? John, me, what do we love? Michael?
I love the lines. I think there's so many good lines. I love when
Yes.
Frank first is taking Nada
Yes.
over to the place.
Frank is Keith David's character, right?
Yes. And he's like, you can follow me. And he just kind of doesn't really respond. He's like, okay. But then they're walking. And then he goes, look, I don't like nobody following me unless I know why. And then Nada's like, well, I don't join up with anybody till I see where he's going. Like, it's like these perfect lines are like traded.
yeah.
It's really funny.
Just two badasses badassing off.
Yeah.
There's if you love this movie and don't have the Shout Factory version, there's like interviews with Carpenter and there's an interview with Keith David, and he's talking about how he like used to teach a class about like real English for the theater or something.
Well,
So he like, I mean, it's essentially like stage English, hopefully no accent. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, it sort of sounds like an accent even when it's not an accent.
mhm.
But he said like when he was doing the thing and when he was doing this movie, he was afraid that he's gonna be like, you motherfuckers, all of you motherfuckers, I'm tired of your shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I gotta talk like a real person. He's
Yeah,
like,
because he is like one of the great orators of all time.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
yes.
It's like
I'm Keith David. How are
Sidney
you?
Poitier in the
Yes.
what was that? What's that movie called?
Sneakers?
Sneakers. Yeah, I love that. I was like, what is that movie called? Sneaking.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
Guess who's? Yeah.
Yes, please guess.
It's just he did a great delivery in that. So you never know. People can surprise you.
That's true.
Mhm.
Another thing I love, probably every third time I watch this, it will be my favorite part is the endless fight in the middle between
Yeah.
Keith David and Roddy
It's
Piper.
amazing. Yeah.
A fight that the first time you see it, you cannot believe it.
Yeah.
And in subsequent watchings, you still barely can believe it
Yeah.
because it ends like 3 times and then it just keeps going.
Yeah.
And like they've crushed each other.
Yes.
They hit each other with like bricks and shit. And they keep getting up.
Well, anyone who's watched a World Star Hip Hop video knows
Yeah.
that sometimes a fight ends and then it doesn't.
It
end.
doesn't.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. That's
There's a
amazing.
million parts in that fight that I love.
Yes.
The gut wrench suplex.
The gut wrench suplex.
Great.
I love the belly to back suplex. There's lots of good shit in there.
Oh yeah.
There's also one moment
There's
where
a sleeper hold.
yes, there is
Sleeper
a sleeper
hold.
hold. There's so much wrestling in this fight.
Yeah.
There's a moment when Keith David picks up a glass and he
You
has
dirty
just like a-
motherfucker.
you dirty motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's got the big glass bottle and he tries to break it against a car,
Yeah.
but it just completely shatters
It's
and Rowdy
amazing.
just starts to laugh.
It's so good.
And
Yeah.
then they go after each other again. Oh god, it's so
That
good.
part's awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And there's also one part where Keith David knees him in the nuts like 5
Yeah, I
times
was
in a
like,
row, just
holy-
like
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and Roddy's like,
that would be fatal.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, you'd just be dead.
so brutal. But it's just so awesome. And like
That's great.
once you see those guys beat the shit out of each other for so long, you're like, they can definitely beat aliens.
Yeah.
They can beat any alien because they are unkillable. Like they're the most
Unkillable homeless men.
Yes.
Yes.
Unkillable homeless warriors.
I love it.
badasses. Complete badasses.
Yeah, that scene's
Um,
amazing, especially now knowing that Carpenter loves wrestling. I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. That's like a whole match. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
wild.
mean, it lasts how long some WrestleMania match would last.
It's like 6.5
Yeah,
minutes.
It's
long.
crazy.
fucking long.
In fact,
pretty awesome.
matches that are longer than that suck.
Yeah.
Make your matches last as long as the fight scene and they live.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And have those two guys. I mean, I guess you can't anymore, but you should.
You should.
You bring back Rowdy from the
I
dead.
really enjoyed the entire like homelessness of it all,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I like I hate to get back on the Lovecraftian stuff, but the whole like world underneath stuff, like
Mm,
Yes.
secret world, secret
Yes.
darkness, you know,
Yes.
secret struggle.
I
That's
love
always
it.
just really fun and really enticing.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
wish it didn't turn out to be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Pandora Papers released today. There's
Yeah.
like billions of secret money that we'll never have access to.
Whoa,
yeah.
that's
It was a lot
crazy.
more fun when, you know, the notion of a few aliens having all the money and running the world was just a notion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's so fucked up. I mean, it's it's definitely a movie that has aged incredibly well.
Yeah.
Because you watch it and you go, oh fuck! Like every time you watch it, you're like, God damn it! I wish Rowdy was here so he could kill
Yes.
all of them.
Yeah.
That's great.
Instead of glasses that reveal that like giant billboards are telling you to obey, now all they have to do is get like a general to sign on to Reddit and make a few bullshit posts.
Yeah.
You can control the minds
Exactly.
of half the mutants in this country.
It's pretty crazy.
Oh God.
Everything's crazy, but not as crazy as one of my fries, which is the part where they're in the alleyway getting shot at and they're like hiding, and then Frank throws the watch back and then it opens up the portal, and I just love how that looked, like the little blue light coming through this little hole, like cartoon cutout hole. Like it's kind of perfect. I was like, this is great. So I just love the way that looked.
Super smooth edges.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Oh, it's great.
It's pretty neat.
It's so good. I love that part. There's a part, we've already talked about this part like 10 times, but when Rowdy first puts on the sunglasses.
Yes.
When he put on the glasses.
When he first puts on the
sunglasses.
He goes in the store. He sees a whole bunch of shit. He sees Obey. He sees the magazines. He sees like the ghouls.
Yes.
And then he like looks down. Yes. I think he's maybe at the magazine stand.
Yeah.
And somebody's holding money, and it just says, "This is your god."
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like, oh,
yeah.
Dang.
So good.
Dang.
There's so many things on those walls that like cut you to the core.
Like, holy shit.
Just like the thing that always gets me, because I love to sleep, is sleep 8 hours. There's one by the TV that says sleep 8 hours, and I'm like, god damn it. But I do love to sleep.
They got you, Sean.
They got you.
Yeah, they got me.
When I was watching this again, I was like, man, these are all things that Sean is fucking obsessed with.
Yeah. You read a lot.
Yeah.
Gotta get a good night's sleep, baby.
It is amazing, like just seeing the endless pages of just like one word. Like that's pretty wild. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
There was one that was like,
so cool.
comfort is king, and I was like, I'm putting that on a shirt.
Yes.
That's great.
You gotta be comfortable.
Yeah.
I get sleepy.
It's pretty wild. It's a wild movie, and it's just very fun, and it's silly, and yeah.
Michael, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
I've got a few more.
Oh, I do too.
One, life's a bitch and she's back in heat.
Oh.
Great line. Congrats.
I think that's the best one.
Yeah.
Roddy, you killed it. There's one part, I think maybe Buck Flower says this, but Buck Flower is kind of the quintessential drunk homeless guy.
Homeless
in, like,
man and everything.
Millions of
stuff.
movies.
Yeah.
And in this one, he plays that, but eventually he joins forces with the ghouls, with the aliens. And he turns into like the really dashing, charming version of himself, where he's got like a nice trimmed beard and he's got a beautiful tuxedo. And at some point he's talking about how great they are and how much he loves them. And he says, they're free enterprisers. It's just like, oh no.
They got you.
God. Oh my God. It's so true.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's so brutal.
It's so sad. He turns on him. Ugh.
How could you turn on your buddies? Buck
So
Flower,
tragic.
how dare you?
Buck Flower. And he gets away. Bilbo's out of there and disappears.
Yeah, he just gets the fuck out. He doesn't he? Good for him.
Yeah, good for
Are those all my favorite things?
That's great.
One more favorite thing.
Oh.
No, two.
I got one too.
It of course, as always, begins with the black background, white special John Carpenter lettering.
Yes.
And when it gets to like the They Live title screen, and then it fades to the graffiti on the wall, and then it like goes in right into this nice long shot of like a train, and then Rowdy walking by, and I just love that.
Mm-hmm.
The little fade to the straight to the They Live on the wall, and that little thing past I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
really
that kind
cool.
of shit. Just like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do a cool filmmaker thing, and it will be cool, and you'll go, wow, this guy actually thought about what would happen in the movie before he even made it.
It's pretty cool when that happens.
Pretty weird, isn't it?
Like,
He just thought something out.
Yeah. How
And I love that
strange.
part.
I love that part too. I was like,
I've got one more, but I want y'all to go.
I have one. I have a couple. The one in the bank where he's just shooting all the aliens. And it cuts to one alien behind like this teller glass, and he just blasts it, and it goes like,
Yes.
But it's like it's really cool visually. It's like whoa,
Yes.
just dead. I was like, that's nice. And you probably get away with more going black and white. Probably get pretty
Yes,
wild.
absolutely.
And then the other is when he's I forget her name because she's not in it very much, but the lady
Meg Foster.
Yeah, Meg
What's her
Foster.
character? Her
I
character-
forget
I will look up her
her
character name as you
name.
speak.
And
Holly.
and
Very
he
unmemorable.
yeah. Well, he goes over to like the window while she's like on the phone, and then she
Yes.
hits him over there with a bottle, and then throws him out a window, and it's like the most intense. I was like, holy crap! I did not remember that.
Yes.
I was like, jeez.
It's incredibly
Flies
surprising.
like 50 stories down. You're like,
Yes,
like
he rolls down
Yeah.
the longest hill. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
There's this moment early on when they're still in the homeless camp and they're watching the TV, and there is a group of underground truthers who are trying to spread the news about these aliens, and they come in the form of this kind of, portly bearded dude who's telling you information about how they're breeding us for slavery and all that kind of cool stuff. And
That guy's also been in a million Carpenter movies.
yeah.
Oh,
this is
wow.
amazing. And he's talking, and then they cut to this preacher, this blind
Manic
preacher who's
street
been-
preacher.
Yeah.
Yes, the manic street preacher who's been wandering around throughout, and he is mouthing the same words that the dude on the TV is,
Yeah.
and like Roddy notices both of them happening at the same time. It's just like cutting back and forth from one to the other, and it's
Yeah.
just so fucking cool.
That's
Yeah.
the awesome world underneath stuff I'm talking about, like the unexplained
Yes.
phenomenon, like
Yeah.
the weird wrinkles that are never go explained. That like, and that actually brings me, if we can get there, to my low main.
Oh,
do
wow.
it.
Stuff like that, and then watching a movie like The Thing
Yes.
Mm.
makes you really wish that somebody would have just given John Carpenter lots of money to make movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of these shoestring nightmare budgets that he does the best that he can with. But then you watch a movie like The Thing and you see how almost flawless the goddamn thing
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
And you're just like, wow, they really could have been so much more.
Yes.
You know, like the little bits of ephemera like that Sean just referenced that are like so weird and unsettling. Just imagine what he could have done if he'd, been able to light it the way he wanted to, if he could have had a better looking homeless camp. Like, it just even the actors that I love the actors in this movie.
Yeah.
Like stuff like Prince of Darkness, you watch it, and then later in his career, and he really starts scraping, the bottom of the barrel. He does the best he can with the budget he has.
Mhm.
Yes.
I feel like the budget is felt here in this movie, and it's okay because it's still, they make it into this silly, like, wild thing. Like,
Yeah.
we just talked about Venom earlier. Like, I feel like Venom would have been a better movie if it had a budget like this.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like,
For sure.
But budgets a lot of times really influence the viewing experience. And I feel like this movie, it's totally cool the way it is, but I'll always wonder what it could have been like if it was, if it had the giant budget like The Thing did.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, were you guys going to talk about the music at all in your worst?
I was going to, yes.
Okay, go ahead
yeah.
then.
Now, I am one of the great admirers of John Carpenter's
Yeah.
themes. I
I think
the
the score as a whole is fine.
yes.
The main theme
The main theme
is
is like a weird
is a nightmare.
shuffle.
Maybe it's supposed to be mind numbing, but it's completely mind numbing.
Yeah.
I think it just comes off as so silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like I don't know if it's a real harmonica or a fake harmonica, but
I know Roddy Piper played the harmonica for real in the movie.
Whoa.
oh,
I don't
wow.
know. I don't know if he's on the score or
That'd
not.
be wild.
But it's just the main theme is just
But
kind
down,
of
but
lame.
down.
Yeah. It's-
Boom, dun, boom, dun, boom.
It's like
It's
when you're
just-
first learning to play like the bass or something.
Yeah.
It's like the line they give you. It's like the paradiddle on the drum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not great. And just seems I don't know. It seems inappropriate in almost every way because like the blues in an electronic context is very weird.
Yes.
These-
Hey, Moby has shown us that it can't be done.
Oh, that's true.
Sean,
Yes.
damn you.
but also like does Nada seem like a blues guy?
Not to me.
He seems like an
He's
old time rock and roll
homeless,
guy.
man. Yeah.
Well, I know that, but He seems like he'd been listening to AC/DC or something.
Yeah, I could have seen that.
Now, a John Carpenter version of AC/DC probably would have been just as bad.
Yeah.
That would be Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I love that
Big
movie.
trouble
That
Big
movie's
bad
so
trouble.
in Little China.
Did that have a big budget?
Bigger.
Bigger.
Yeah, bigger.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's wild.
That was the one that ruined him kind of in the eyes of the
Oh,
studio,
really?
was Big Trouble in Little China. Well, the Thing too. I mean, the Thing was not a success. It ran into a goddamn
Really?
E.T.
Yeah.
And,
E.T. rolled over it, steamrolled,
Really?
and destroyed it.
and Carpenter just didn't get good reviews for a long time.
Dang.
Like, he's not a well-reviewed filmmaker, which is
That
hard to
sucks.
believe now. But Michael,
Yeah.
what did you not enjoy about They Live?
The music did also throw me out of it a bit, and I was like, this isn't my favorite, but whatever. It's still fun.
I
But
think it's just that one song, though. Like, I still think the
Yeah.
rest of the score is effective.
Yeah, it's right around. The rest of the stuff kind of feels like it's right around the Assault on
Yeah.
Precinct 13 stuff.
oh, I've never seen it. But
Well, you have to.
I will. This.
I mean, I guess you don't have to.
one
But
yeah, I guess
if
it's
you want to,
not.
you
Yeah.
can.
That will be one that I am here for.
Hell
That's
yeah.
good. There were a couple parts that were just not. I thought were just stupid and not in
Lay
like
it
a
on me.
fun way. Like I mean, this is nitpicking because I didn't have many. I was like, oh, there's nothing overarching that is wrong with this movie. It's pretty fun. But like, there's a part where like they're at the homeless camp and they're watching the TV,
Yeah.
and the daughter of the one guy's like, "Daddy, I have a headache," and he goes, "I know, me too." I was like, "What?" It just was this weird interchange. I was like, "Huh? That's a weird."
It's really
exchange.
weird.
And then the other part was when they're all getting arrested by the cops or beat up, basically. And
Yeah.
the blind guy's like, "As I walk through the shadow," and he's like swinging his stick. I was like, "This is really
Yeah.
stupid."
It's really
Come
silly.
on.
He's just like swinging it back and forth,
I like died laughing. I was like,
and then they Rodney King him, man. They beat the
Yeah.
shit out of him
But
so bad.
everything else, loved it. Had a blast. But those two, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and those, I mean, there's so much, as John already pointed out, there's so much stuff in this where, like, you think, hey, maybe if they had one more night to do that,
Yeah, exactly.
he wouldn't have had to do just like a random woof, woof, woof.
I mean, I read in a Carpenter book that their biggest expense was putting all the goddamn labels for the black and white
Oh,
scenes
wow.
on the consumer products. And if that is true,
Wow.
it's amazing that this movie looks and feels as good as it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But when you have Carpenter doing half of the jobs himself, and then Roddy Piper writing the dialogue,
Yeah.
and I'm sure Roddy Piper, for a leading man, is pretty cheap as well. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I would just love to see. I think it worked out because we got these really cool John Carpenter low budget movies where he got to do exactly what he wanted to do.
Yes.
But at the same time, when you watch The Thing, and it all goes back to The Thing,
Sure.
you just keep wondering, like, this could have been a totally different career.
Yeah.
And especially because The Thing had a lot of troubles too.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he managed to get that movie out of all the troubles he had with the effects,
Mhm.
like Rob Bottin was making these beautiful things, but they're way the fuck behind schedule.
Yeah.
And like causing him so much trouble and
Yeah.
making him crazy. But the fact that they managed to still make this kind of perfect, beautiful little thing that is like, you can't think of it being any moment in that movie being different.
Yeah.
Any actor in it being different. Like it's all just so perfect is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this, it's like Jaws or some shit where like you read about Jaws and you think like,
Yeah.
how the fuck did they end up making that movie so good?
Mm.
And this
like-
could be a case of, like Sean just mentioned, it could have just been like magical alchemy where like the things that went poorly were just as important as the things that went well. And
Absolutely.
he might not have had the thing in him, but I don't know, it just kind of nags at me.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like he would. I mean, the stuff that he does, even on a low budget, like the fact that Prince of Darkness cost less than like maybe
Yeah, but imagine
7
Prince
seconds.
of Darkness with like Wilford Brimley in it instead of that goddamn Asian doctor that you guys like that I hate.
He rules. You're insane.
That's great.
Get out of here.
Just with better actors,
Actor.
I'm agreeing for the most part, but like I don't know. I watch The Thing and I watch Starman, and they have like this luster that
Yes.
this big movie luster that I want, this
Yes.
sheen that I desire.
Yeah.
And he does not have that for the rest of his career. It's
Yes,
just,
absolutely.
you know, things look they look good, but they also look cheap, and I don't know.
Yeah, I never saw Starman. I'll have to check that out. Sounds
Well, I
wild.
mean, we're gonna have it on Carpentober eventually.
One day, yeah.
I also
Not
have
this
it on-
month.
No, I didn't make it.
Starman's amazing. Starman has a look that is so like this weird twisted Spielberg type feel to it
Whoa.
that like me and my buddy David Shamban made a whole music video based on like the look.
Wow, that's
Starman.
awesome.
So beautiful.
That's really
It's a beautiful-
cool.
If you don't cry during that movie, Michael, you have no soul.
You have.
It's a beautiful movie.
I saw
And-
Michael cry while Twitch streaming Dark Souls today, so I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure he'll
did.
cry.
Yeah.
Not cry. I had a mental breakdown. It was intense. I had several today, but five.
I was
of them,
just fucking kidding.
5 of them were on stream. No, I've never cried on stream, but
Yeah,
I've come
you should.
close.
I'll be there. You
You'll
let me
be
know when
there,
that goes
yeah.
down. Send me an alert.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
John will be there to help you cry.
Get
by
in
saying
here,
cruel
man.
Things about you.
I'm crying. Yeah.
This is another new hot new segment for you kids.
Oh.
I call it the best in parentheses egg roll. What's the best acting performance in this movie? Who is the essential part? Who's your favorite actor? What is the performance that you love the most in this
Oh,
movie?
wow. I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah.
I hate to be stereotypical, but I'm gonna have to pick the white guy. No, I'm just kidding.
That's correct.
I
That's the
mean,
correct-
yeah, he's pretty
correct answer.
amazing. Nada's pretty
Yeah.
great, but I also love Keith David and like everything. So
Keith David's so
yeah,
fucking
he'll be my choice just to make John mad.
Yeah, I'm mad. Keith David's great, but it's like very like, okay, I'm Keith David. I'm in this movie. I rule in every movie, but it's not like Keith David in fucking The Thing or in like what's the movie where he says ass to ass? Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, that's a great. Oh my
He's great,
god,
yeah.
that movie's
It's Roddy Piper. It's a transcendent performance.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, I mean he's good in The Nice Guys for the 16 seconds he's in it.
Wait, he's
Which
in
that's
that?
like, that's like a crime.
Wait, he's in
Yeah.
that movie?
Yeah.
What?
They
As
fight,
who?
they fight by they have the hot tub fight.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's Keith.
Is
Big
that
Keith.
Keith, not I thought you were saying Roddy. I was
Oh.
like, what? He's in that movie?
Yeah.
was
I
like, that's
wish.
Crazy.
Now, Roddy Piper is in this and Hell Comes to Frogtown, and then a lot of movies you don't want to see.
Hell Comes to Frogtown. What's that?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you not watch Hell Comes to
No,
Frogtown
what
with
is
us?
that?
I don't
Well,
think so.
Hey, if you're a listener, or if
back.
you're Michael, go back and listen to our Hell Comes Frogtown episode. Did we
Wow.
watch that with Rob Haynes? We watched it with somebody
I never heard
like
of
that. It's a
Rob Haynes, the Harry Knowles of unlistened to movie podcast.
Ah! Oh my
I'm the Quint
God.
of Unlistened to Movie Podcast. Well, Michael, you should
I
watch Hell Comes to
apologize.
Frogtown because it's like Mad Max,
Uh-huh.
but if Mad Max was Roddy Piper,
Whoa.
and instead of going to like a place where everyone has hockey masks, they go to a place where everyone is a frog.
What?
Yeah.
There's frog people.
What? That's amazing.
So good.
Wow.
Sandal Bergman,
Yeah,
weird flick.
it's fucking weird.
Sounds
It's really good.
wild.
I mentioned him earlier, but I love Buck Flower, and I
Yeah.
feel like
Wow.
he has some other moments to shine in other movies, but like I think this is the one where he gets to have a character that has an arc.
Is it the
Which-
same character he kind of plays in the stuff?
Kind of.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's kind of the same
He
character.
has like the same arc.
Yeah, his I love his arc where it's just like I'm a homeless guy, and when I have any chance,
I won't
I
be.
will gladly turn in all of my best friends
Exactly.
just to have money. And I just love him in that beautiful suit and how
Yeah.
like this kind of down on his luck guy goes, and he's like so sweet and kind to them, and he's like, "Y'all, it's so nice to see you. Let me take you on a nice tour of our place." It's
That's
just
great.
like so funny and sweet in that movie. I love him.
I love it.
I love him.
Now
Michael,
it's time
go.
for our new segment
We got
Jesus
another new
Christ.
called
one?
"Who Are You Fried Crab Wonton to Cast in the Remake of this movie?" So stupid.
Well, Roddy Piper is dead.
Yeah.
So he cannot be in the
So
remake.
he can.
Now, this is the problem. In my head, I always want The Rock to finally become the Rock I wish he had been when he first started. Where he's like this charismatic guy, but he's also huge. He could be what if Arnold could speak English?
He does not make good movies.
He doesn't.
I can't put him in this movie because the movie will be bad.
It's too bad.
Now hear me out. The Rock,
I'm hearing you.
and then Kevin. What's his name?
Kevin Sorbo.
Kevin's Hart as
Kevin Hart plays Keith David.
Yeah.
Why did I say Kevin Sorbo?
Kevin Sorbo.
What the fuck?
Even better. I would watch Kevin Sorbo in this
Kevin
movie.
Sorbo and Kevin Hart.
Is there anyone who's big who has who is interesting now?
No.
Well, if you're not going to cast a wrestler, which I think we should discuss casting wrestlers, I think Bruce Campbell could play an elderly version.
Oh wow.
He should play the George Buck Flowers role. Like,
Oh
yes!
wow.
Give it to yeah. I don't know. We could let the Candyman, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, that you guys brought up. He's a large guy. He could play the lead role. He could play Nada. But you really need somebody who can deliver these lines.
Yeah.
Ooh, wait. Now he's getting a little older.
Oh.
Are you gonna Russell Crowe me?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to Black Dynamite era Michael Jai White.
Whoa.
Okay,
I think he's funny enough to
Bring
pull
him
off
back.
some of this shit.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Meg Foster should be played by.
No one has space eyes like she
Yeah,
does.
no one
no,
has
dude.
space
You need the craziest eyes in the history
Yeah.
of
Jeez.
Yeah,
movies
the
for
moment
Meg
she's
Foster.
on
I was
screen, you're like,
whoa.
something's
Yeah,
up.
and
She's
something's
bad.
up. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
she
seems
must be
bad the
bad.
whole time.
I mean, you could sell me on Tom Hardy rocking the Nada character.
Interesting. I can't look at Tom Hardy anymore and see anything but
Bane?
Eddie Brock. Yeah.
Bane. Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm like, he's
Eddie Brock. People don't understand, man. People don't understand how fucking insane the choices Tom Hardy has made as the Eddie Brock character. The Eddie Brock character is so much more bizarre than the alien symbiote character.
Yeah.
The alien symbiote character and voice, by the way, is more normal than the insane like Donald Trump, Christopher Walken, Long Island. Like, what the fuck is he doing?
And there's parts where he just like turns into a monster and he's like, and you're like, what?
Yeah, and he even does it when the symbiote's gone.
Exactly. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Their symbiotic relationship is too powerful. He can only be a
I
monster
mean,
sometimes.
after seeing Wrath of Man, I'm ready for like Jason Statham to play like these type of roles.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, Jason Statham. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if he can just deliver every line with the intensity and joy de vivre as "suck your own dick,"
Yeah.
and Wrath of Man, I'm ready for it. Oh, good God! The answer's right. Gerard Butler.
Oh,
this is the role Gerard Butler was
Waiting
born to play.
Top shop.
I'm ready for it.
Okay. I would actually watch, what is his name? The narc guy who did Cop Shop.
I don't know.
What? Oh, Carnahan.
Carnahan. I would watch a Carnahan
Dude,
remake.
Cop
of this.
Shop's great, man. Cop Shop is easily his best movie since The Gray. Probably his second best movie.
Oh, that movie's wild. The Gray.
Or Narc. Narc is good. Narc is like a totally different beast than the rest of his movies.
Yeah. They get really silly.
Yeah.
It's probably the appropriate amount of silly for a remake like this. If you're listening, Joe Carnahan, remake this movie with Gerard Butler and who's the sidekick?
Frank Grillo.
Frank Grillo. That'd be good. Okay. We're doing Carpentober all through the month of October. We're talking about a bunch of different Carpenter movies, which I've already talked about. But next week, the Orange Julius presents our preview for next week. We are watching Cigarette Burns, which is a John Carpenter episode of the Masters of Horror TV show. And it is on Tubi, which you can watch for free, according to the internet. I tried it yesterday and it worked. So hopefully it will also work for you.
Yes.
And we can all talk about Cigarette Burns. On behalf of Michael Hampton and on behalf of John Burr, I am Sean Parrott. Thank you so much for coming to chew bubble gum and kick ass with us. I don't know what John's doing. John's doing some secret stuff.
Yeah, secret stuff.
I want to say to you,
This is a good way to end the Twitch stream and the podcast.
Yeah.
Bon appetit!
Obey!